Welcome back to the Absolutely Epic Early Week Podcast, Week 14, 1 week shy of the NFL's quinceañera. Dean here, Dean 7904, if you want to get all technical on me. I don't know why I'm chipper. I sound chipper. I'm not. We'll talk about that in a second. Joining me today, usual suspects, Mangone, what up?
Nothing much, Gene. Happy to, finally get the monkey off my back, right? I'm ready to rock, man. I'm not the loser on this podcast. So someone else is, someone that's in Florida right now on a little vacay kind of. So it's not me, though.
Well, okay, let's put Grant, are you in Florida?
I am not in Florida, and I don't lose these things. Still currently in the lead for least amount of losses.
You're currently in a hotel, and we had a pre-show conversation because in a previous podcast, if you listened earlier, and this is a great way to open this. Thank you, Yahoo, for sponsoring the show. But you had a whole pitch about how you like to be naked in hotels. You're in a hotel, but you're not naked?
I was, in fact, naked until I had to walk out to my car and grab my podcast stuff. And I figured if I was naked, then I'd have to come in to our pre-show meeting with the camera on, and then you guys would feel inadequate.
Well, I mean, is that a Nick Foles reference? Because Nick Foles is the guy that did me in last week. Apparently you don't get fantasy points for length or for girth. Dude was got benched at the halftime, and I will get the wrath of you guys as far as the thing with being mean with like the tweets or consequences, which we'll talk about soon enough, obviously, is that eventually your number comes up. Eventually you lose, and there's a thing called karma. Despite the fact that, Grant, everybody happens to think that you're the one that creates all these tweets. So maybe it isn't karma.
Guys,
I don't know.
For the record here, Dean was the one that actually came up with the cameo idea, and then we constructed it together. It was Dean that planted the seed and did a lot of the work.
Well, that's too late now. The people already think that Grant's the great genius. And you already, you said before the show, yourself and Mangone, the two schoolgirls over there, are super giddy about my tweets or consequences that's coming up on layaway. And I'm you asked me if I want to hear it. I'm like, no, I want to hear it on the show organically. But you also said like we should backload it because maybe there's some kids out there that are listening, which I don't like. That makes me nervous. I don't want to hear that, Grant. I'm not excited about hearing the tweets or consequences.
Guys, it is straight up poetry, and I mean that literally, not figuratively.
You keep saying poetry. Is that some sort of foreshadowing? Is that actually a reference to what's going on? Or
that is foreshadowing.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Grant's attempt at poetry.
I should say, of course, I mean, I don't know if we have new listeners as far as week 14, but if this is your first time here, this is the first podcast you listen to in DFS. It's not the last podcast you listen to because, of course, we're recording this on Monday night. First look, things will change Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You probably don't want to listen to this podcast. It expires in a couple days, but right out the gate, this is the first peak. This is the first podcast you want to listen to. And do also want to say, Mangone, we were talking about it, like how do we even gauge like who's listening to us? Are people out there listening or not? So let's throw a question to the chat and let's see if people were answering. And it was very simple, Mangone. We asked the people last week. We said, hey, how was your day? How are you? Well, how are things? And we got an awesome response. We thoroughly enjoyed that. We'll talk about that in a second. But just want to thank the listeners out there, Mangone. We were excited about this response.
Yeah, it was so good. Like, it was blowing up. We're giving away 3 shirts, right? We're giving 3 responses, so I'm super excited about it. And listen, I never really go and look at the responses because you guys always disappoint. But this week you guys were hits, and I was all in on it. So I'm happy, and I hope we get another amazing set of responses this coming up week.
Grant, Mangone just turned heel. He just said, you guys suck, basically. And finally, what just happened?
Normally, you guys disappoint me. Okay, Dad.
I'm just telling you the truth, man. Normally, it's like, we got like 2 guys. It's like, okay, whoever, just replied gets the shirt. But no, amazing responses. I was super excited about it.
Yeah, we made the executive decision, said screw it. The responses were too good. We're going to give out 3 T-shirts. Each one of us selected a person that's going to win a fabulous RotoGrinders T-shirt. Feel free to slide into my DMs. I'll make sure to pass on to the people that matter and hook you all up with a T-shirt of your choice. No, it's a RotoGrinders. It's not going to be like Hot Topic or something. I don't know why I say of your choice. Your choices are limited, but they are certainly comfortable for sure. Grant, who's your winner?
My winner is more of a serious tweet, but Ricky Bobby NS. Apparently he had some sciatic nerve damage, incredibly painful. I've known people that have had it. It's not a great thing to go through. Also told Mangone to go to his reunion. Did you go, Mangone?
Oh, long story short, I did not end up going. It wasn't a great day Friday. I had some stuff come up, and it just didn't work out. So, I did see some like videos, like people the Facebook stories you can do, like it's similar to Snapchat stories.
No one knows that because people aren't on Facebook.
I'm not on the Facebook either.
This isn't 2008.
I saw some videos from it and some pictures, and I don't know. I think
Do you feel like you missed out, or you're okay not going?
Yeah, I was okay. I didn't go, and someone said like one of the responses was like maybe there was an old flame there. Like there was no. I didn't have any old flames from high school because I dated like someone for like 3 years in high school, and like she went to a different high school, so like that wasn't like a possibility to come up. From the videos I saw and the pictures, I'm kind of happy I didn't go. But I don't know. My one friend said he had a good time.
Was this girl that went to another high school real?
Yes, she was quite real.
I heard that too. She went to another. That's like the classic sitcom joke.
Oh yeah,
right,
my
Urkel,
girlfriend. She lives up in Canada.
Urkel,
No, she did go. She did go to a high school. She was not from my high school, but that was there was no old flames that popped up. It was fine. I'm happy I didn't go. It was okay. I sweated NBA games. That's the life.
Who are you giving a t-shirt to, Mango?
Yeah, so you actually have one of the guys that I like, but I was like, listen, you like him, I like him, so I'll pick a different one. And the one I liked, I was a fan of was, he goes, well, I started to watch Gossip Girl thanks to you guys, and I get it. Like, this guy gets it now. And he says, thanks, boys, my weekend is now set. So
this person's a total liar. There's no chance. First of all, you did not sell Gossip Girls, and you're the only one that endorsed it. And of all people, no offense, Mango, maybe for football takes or whatever, maybe basketball, but for like TV takes, people don't listen to your TV takes.
I'll admit, people definitely probably don't listen to my TV takes. But listen, Pikachu, like you are my winner. I was laughing when I read that response. I thought that was great, and just the thought of him being like, "Thanks, boys, my weekend's set." Like he's getting home from work on a Friday night, and instead of hanging out with his boys or something, he's grabbing a slice of pizza and watching some Gossip Girl. Man, this is my kind of guy right here.
I don't believe a second of that. I think he's a total liar. But like, you also managed to insult another person. You said as the entire community, terrible answers. This one you said, I don't really want you to win, but like you're my second option. You basically said like,
Listen. The other guy was, I mean, his talk about his response. I think he was like the number one, right? If we were doing a podium, he would take first place in my opinion over everyone. But there were some great responses. Like I said, some people saying like, oh, they missed the Yahoo tournament with overlay. Is there another overlay tournament, Dean? That's something we should maybe bring up.
I felt like that was like a Black Friday thing. I could be wrong. But we can go.
It was a Thanksgiving thing, and then there was a Black Friday one that also overlaid. Thank you, our sponsor Yahoo. I won money on those.
I lost money on the Thanksgiving. It was free money, and I lost. I don't know how I did it, but achievement unlocked. Like
I got 10th in that tournament.
Did you? Look at you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, next time you owe me a drink because I'm poor now because I lost money in the easiest contest to ever win money in DFS, and I don't know what I did wrong. Mistakes were made for sure. But my winner was the Dragon. The Dragon basically said. Let's say, so while talking football, you know what I like about the Dragon? He said, and this kind of speaks to the first 5 minutes of the podcast. Basically, what the Dragon likes is our complete disregard for an actual format. That's why he stays or she stays. I don't know if it's he or she. It's just the Dragon. And there's a couple anecdotes in there. Shout out to Mangone. It says, P.S. Blake Lively's a dime. That's a callback to, I believe, Blake Lively is on Gossip Girl. Is that true or not? I don't know.
Yes, she is on Gossip Girl, and she's the reason to watch. And that's why he watched. So who knows? He maybe was rocking some PH Premium too while he was at it. That's how great Blake is.
And he also just randomly mentions, maybe he's Canadian. He says that the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, they won the CFL for the first time in 29 years in a 9-team league. By the way, a 9-team league. Like there's fantasy leagues that have more teams than that.
The CFL only has 9 teams?
I think they have 9 teams, and I could be wrong in this, but I think 2 of them are called the Rough Riders. They can only think of 8 nicknames in Canada, and I think there's 2 like the Saskatchewan Rough Riders. I might be making this up, but I think there's 2 teams. Somebody Google this and confirm or not.
Are they sponsored by Trojan?
I don't know. But my favorite little anecdote, and I don't really know why I came across this as far as the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, there was a Winnipeg Blue Bomber fan out there. And again, Winnipeg's in Canada, if you guys are not geography majors. And in Canada, it's cold. And this guy basically said, like, he refused to wear pants until the Winnipeg Blue Bombers win a championship. And, like, on the sideline of the game, like, there was a whole moment about this guy putting on pants. it was a spectacle. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Didn't watch any of the game, but I enjoyed
Just watch the dude without pants.
No, with pants. He did. Yeah, he put pants on, and the crowd went nuts because like he had a pact that basically said, until the Winnipeg Blue Bombers win, I will not wear pants. And it's cold in Canada, so.
Is the guy from Cincinnati off his roof now that they won a game?
Yes, I love that guy too. Good for him. Shout out to the Cincinnati Bengal fan, and he was on his roof for. I mean, I would assume he would come down periodically, or maybe once a day. I don't really know what the rules are, but I didn't really follow.
I think he just peed in his chimney,
and everything else. Just all right, so we have to, excite the chat once again. What do we come up with here, Grant? Where we said basically we're going to give out one shirt for a premium member, and if a non-premium member answers a question, we're going to give out two different prizes. We're going to give out RG Premium for a week. We're making an executive decision with no permission, and we'll see what happens. But that's what we're doing as of now.
Yeah. So the question this week is, I always look for good stuff to binge on Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu, or Disney Plus. So those are the ones I have. Well, and HBO and Showtime. I have them all.
Look at you,
so if you got it's not. I pay for one.
You're one of those guys. Yeah.
I have a family. I have a big-ish family, so it's not too hard to do. But yeah, so I pay for two. If you guys got any good binge recommendations of shows, hopefully one I haven't heard of or Mangone hasn't heard of, and I need something to watch this week. So yeah, drop those in the comment section on the RG podcast page where this podcast goes up, and you get the best answer, because I'll probably try watching a lot of them. Then you win a t-shirt or a week of RG Premium. I almost said P-Hub Premium.
I feel like that's more foreshadowing. I'm afraid. I feel like that might be a thing, but I don't know. And you can't just put Breaking Bad. That's obviously the best show to binge watch on, and it's the best show of all time. That's you want to say it's subjective, whatever. I don't agree. It's just the best. It's the GOAT show. That's not going to win, right, man? You have to give a clever answer, or gifts are encouraged,
or even just something I haven't seen before. It can be fairly popular. It can't be. You can't say The Wire. You can't say Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
I mean you can say it, but you're not going to win. Don't be so obvious. If it's something off the board, that's better. And the response matters too. It could be funny, or if it could just be a really good show. And if Grant or I or Dean sit down and watch this weekend, and we're like, man, this was so good. This guy has to win. Then yeah, you win.
Horrible shows might also win. If I one episode in, I'm like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. Bravo.
Yeah, you bait us into watching, wasting 30 minutes of our lives into something terrible.
Just like we baited the people to listen to 10 minutes of absolute nonsense. We've said nothing about week 14. We apologize, and that's a callback to our guy. At least, if nothing else, I think the Dragon appreciates that, because hey, this is not on format. This is why the Dragon stays. All right. Obviously, there's no more bye weeks, guys. 13-game slate as far as some sites, 14-game slate as far as Yahoo. We don't talk about the Thursday night game. The Thursday night game, it's Dallas and Chicago. We throw that game out. Monday night game, the Giants and the Eagles. We throw that game out as well. Seattle and the Rams is only on Yahoo sponsor. But otherwise, we're looking at a 13-gamer. And Grant, we were kind of talking about this pre-show. Biggest total on the board as of Monday night is a 48.5, and it's an interesting week, and there's really good games to watch. I don't know how great these games are as from a DFS perspective. A KC New England, awesome game, and that's one of the games that are popping again because the studs in there, and it's also got the highest total. And San Fran versus New Orleans, potential NFC showdown as far as the championship game over there is a great game to watch, and it's a bunch of games in the mid 40s as far as totals. There's nothing really popping up the screen as far as a big old 55. Do we like that? How do we feel about the board of games on a first peek?
I mean, first peek, I like it. Again, value will largely determine it. There was one or two injuries that could potentially really excite Pete this week. Foreshadowing there, but overall, it's still an interesting slate. But we don't have up at the top the two lock and load quarterbacks, Jackson and Mahomes. Not in easy spots, not that high of team totals compared to what they normally are. The mid-tier is decent, but not great. And then the cheap guys, I don't see a whole lot of great options either. So it's an interesting slate for quarterback, wide receiver. I just don't see a whole lot of value considering how low the implied totals are. And the fact that there's low implied totals means that you can really get an edge this week by kind of picking the good guys and everyone's in a bad spot. The good guys in bad spots that aren't going to be heavily owned.
Grant, I could have sworn you were going to say Ryan Fitzpatrick, Fitzmagic, or some variety of that, the greatest quarterback of all time. The matchup here against the Jets, $23 on Yahoo, just $3 above the floor. And Darnold, the other side, is available as well too for cash games, and there's not a ton of value out there. Again, it's Monday; things may happen, and it's my understanding that Dalvin Cook got dinged Monday night, so that could definitely shake a.
I think he said he's going to play. Like they just had the conference a few minutes ago.
Okay, so he's fine.
Well, I just saw it pop up on Twitter not too long ago.
Okay, and I say this in the least disingenuous way possible, Mangone, as far as like a screenshot of the slate. I know weeks previously there were some people thought it was being disingenuous, but is it maybe possibly Laird season?
It's definitely possible. It also might be Alexander Madison season with the Cook injury. So it seems like we
just talked about that, didn't we?
Yeah, he said he should be good to go.
Oh, I was reading some other stuff on Cook that someone else was typing in a different chat, maybe in a secret chat. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see if he's good to go. But yeah, Laird, obviously intriguing, but I don't know. I'm assuming we'll have enough value to just put Lamar Jackson there at 7.4K. I'm assuming I'm going to go that route. I went that route last week at 7K. I think I'll end up doing it again. We know the Bills, they struggle a ton against the run. So I think this could be a spot where, Lamar Jackson is definitely in play. It's got an implied total around 44, 45, I think I saw. But, I mean, all the implied totals are kind of nasty. And I thought maybe we'd get some of these, like, guys in good matchups for cheaper. Like, I thought we'd get Fitzpatrick for cheap, but you guys talked about him, like 6K.
You mean the highest scoring quarterback last week?
Yes, sadly, the highest scoring quarterback.
Sadly, greatly, best quarterback of all time.
Another guy, Duck Hodges, right? He's 5.9K. Like, he's more than Kyler Murray. Like, that doesn't make sense. But, it's the matchup, right? Arizona gets priced up for that. Tannehill's 5'8". Like, this is a really weird world that we live in right now with all these quarterbacks priced up. So I just don't see many cheap guys to like. Like, maybe Andy Dalton against Cleveland is enticing. I don't know, Gardner Minshew, he's going to be starting at 5'4". Do I want that? Not really. I just don't see a cheap quarterback that I'm interested in. So, Dwayne Haskins is 4'6", but I don't know. I think that's a bad idea because I think he's just bad. So, I don't know. It feels like a week where I'm just going to pay it for a guy like Lamar Jackson.
You lose to a quarterback named Duck, you should be relegated, right, Grant? Like, you got to be out of the league. That's it. You're done.
I mean, I disagree. You know who else has lost a Duck? This guy named Philip Rivers, one of the greatest QBs of all time.
Can we just, like, honestly, I know it's a running joke and I know it's like an evergreen tweet, but, like, seriously, like, the writers have run out of ideas as far as how to finish their games. Like, they're going to bring in, like, a new kid instead of, like, with sitcoms that are desperate in, like, season 8 or something like that. But
is there a chance he gets benched, like this week, like Tuesday?
They talked about it. Yeah,
like, it was talked about last week. Like, we may as well mention it. Like, if Phillip Rivers gets benched, the Jaguars have been an absolute disaster. Like, it might be Tyrod Taylor's season. Like, the
Chargers have the backup. I did not know that.
Yeah, he's 4.3K. Like, we love having as Rich Rebar says on the Pick Six pod with Crane and them, the Konami quarterbacks, right? The guys with the legs.
He says Konami, but okay.
However you say, I don't know, but they were tweeting about it all this weekend, and they're right. Like, it is the year of them, right? Like, all the running quarterbacks are crushing. So Tyrod Taylor, man, 4.3K, he might be the guy this week. Like, that could happen tomorrow. Like, we might wake up and there might be the Adam Schefter tweet that comes out. Probably not when we wake up because the Chargers are a West Coast team, but I wouldn't be shocked if that happens tomorrow. So 4.3K could be the guy this week.
They just start every Chargers game with 3 minutes to go. The Chargers down 3. Let's go. What's the point? Let's save the time for everybody. And I said it last week, Grant. I actually said it. I go, you're the world's last Phillip Rivers truther. It sounds like you still are. You're not ready to jump off?
No, I'm just saying he's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Is he good right now? Which is weird. Like, the Chargers, they're 4-8. They've scored more points than they've given up, and they are 4 games under 500.
Well, they lose every game by like 4 or 3 or 2.
Yeah, and they win games by 2 or 3. It's been the same way for 4 years. It's honestly incredible.
That's your team, right? Aren't you a fan?
I really do like the Chargers. My team are the Seahawks.
Well, listen, Grant, if you have Phillip Rivers on your season-long playoff teams, there's always a great opportunity to play some showdown and hedge with some Tyrod Taylor just in case here. So take advantage of that hedging backup quarterback.
I see what you did there. But if we're talking about quarterbacks, like Jackson up at the top, it's rough playing in Buffalo. They're obviously a great defense, and they're tough on opposing wide receivers. And weather in Buffalo is definitely a factor, but it's a perfect spot for Lamar Jackson because of that. I think, I know Josh Allen has averaged 100 less or 70 less passing yards in away game or home games than he has on away games. I know opposing quarterbacks have struggled. The weather has been a tough spot this entire year. But with Lamar Jackson's ability to rush on the ground so much, you have a 140-yard rushing upside here. I doubt they'll be.
And he gets the bonus grant, right? That's huge on DK. That 3-point bonus is amazing. So
that's 2 points huge. But he's a great option there up there at the top. Mahomes, I don't think I'm going there. Just seeing how well New England schemed against him last year in the playoffs, but I have a feeling that Belichick's probably going to save that for the playoffs, so he could still potentially have a good game. But I don't really want to play 7K.
He's going to rope and dope him. That's an interesting idea.
Yeah, I mean that's what Belichick does. He doesn't need to scheme a great matchup every single time in the regular season. He does in the playoffs. So I don't hate Mahomes, but I don't like it. I don't want to pay 7K. Where I'm looking at is Minshew's probably my favorite option here. Chargers always seem to put up a dud. Well, not even dud. They always just stay within 3 with their turnover issues. If Tyrod isn't playing, then Jacksonville could be in good field position fairly often. And although Hayward is a good cornerback, their secondary is better with Derwin James. They still gave up a decent game to Locke last week. So Minshew is probably one of my favorite options there at the cheap end. Brissett going up against Tampa Bay. People don't want to play him because of his lack of wide receiver depth. If Hilton plays, it's obviously a big upgrade for him. If Hilton doesn't end up playing, still, I'm going to throw him in, and it just makes pairing him easier. Obviously, Doyle's a fantastic play. The tight ends are really interesting this week. Then Ryan Fitzpatrick, Sam Darnold, both can put up a fairly big game. They're both quarterbacks you generally don't want to roster, but they're absolutely in for a big game in this type of matchup here. And then Duck Hodges, 5,900. You're right. Going up against Arizona. Not a very good defense. He can be in for a big game, even though Pittsburgh's not really known for putting up massive passing out games.
Well, that Duck narrative, he went to duck hunting with Washington, the receiver, and Washington had a nice game. And I guess we talk about the shower narrative. I guess this is a Levitan bit, I suppose. But I know you've referenced it before as well. But I don't know. Maybe there's some strength in that for sure. Of course, they match up more than anything else against Arizona. Grant, when they announce Minshew's the starter, they can't just jump back and forth, right? It's going to be Minshew going forward, I suppose. That's it.
They can't Fitzpatrick Winston it. Foles, right now he's probably done, which is sad to say, but Minshew has just been so good all season, and Foles since he came back has just been a train wreck that can't hold on to the ball, he's essentially Winston in this scenario, and Minshew is Ryan Fitzpatrick. And but this is a spot where Fitzpatrick is the younger guy. So it just makes sense with Minshew. Cheaper contract. Maybe they can dish Nick Foles in the offseason, but seeing what they got with Minshew is absolutely the right move. Keeping him under that.
Philly will take him back.
Wentz is – he had a good game last week, but he just lost to the greatest QB of all time.
On the greatest trick play of all time, which Ryan Fitzpatrick had nothing to do with, right? But that was
he's from Harvard. He probably wrote up the play.
Mangone, the man went to Harvard. I know you were sitting down or not. He went and he plays football. He does both. Is that amazing?
Yeah, man. Not almost as amazing as my boy Jesper, who got a touchdown. He went to Princeton and he played football and scored a touchdown. Remember we were talking about those garbage tight ends? I played him in cash last week on the Thanksgiving slate. So
look at you with the victory lap on Jesper.
Oh, it was amazing.
Hold on. Give me Jesper's full name.
Jesper Horsted, man.
Oh, okay. Okay, I wasn't sure if you're just – all right. I got served.
Yeah, you did, Dean. So suck it, Dean.
You were chirping in there a second ago, and Grant just kept going. What were you trying to say?
Yeah, there was. So I was going to ask. So one guy I want to mention first is Deshaun Watson. I think he's actually a guy that, in the dome, right? That's going to be something with it being December. That's someone we should maybe look at a little bit here. I think he's definitely an intriguing option at 6.5K for tournaments. You can consider him in cash games too. The FanDuel price tag is pretty nice too. So over there, Watson's definitely intriguing. But Derek Carr, right? 5K. Like, again, this is cheap for him. And he's going against the Titans. I think that could be a cheap quarterback to consider in GPPs maybe. So I don't know. What do you guys think? He's 5K, right? That's just a cheap price tag on him so far this year.
It's funny. You mentioned Titans, and I'm like, Tannehill's been okay. Like, isn't he kind of sort of somewhat playable too? Not to ignore your question, but
he's just 5'8", right?
Yeah. It's a price thing, I guess. Like, which isn't egregious, but it's more expensive. Grant?
Yeah, it's a little bit tough to play Tannehill, but he has been good, and this is a little bit of a funnel pass defense. So I don't hate Tannehill there. Like Drew Lock at 5'1", but probably not.
No.
Like, yeah, Derek Carr is probably the other cheap guy outside of Minshew, unless Tyrod plays. So, yeah, I don't think I can play Tannehill, even though he's been great. It's more of a rushing offense. Like, a lot of his big games came off of high volume of touchdowns. So I'm not really expecting a massive game out of him here, at least not enough to pay off his price tag. Plus, there's always the problem of who are you going to pair him with, and it's always the tough decision to make.
Running backs, Mangone, open it up for us.
Yeah, so to Christian McCaffrey or not Christian McCaffrey, right? Last week it didn't work out. It was frustrating.
I still cash in all my Christian McCaffrey lineups.
Everybody had him.
Yeah, but I think we're still doing it at 10-3. I still think we're gonna jam him in there and call it a day. He's still in a good spot. Like him a lot. Obviously, it's Atlanta, so I'm probably gonna go back to McCaffrey for sure. The other guys at the top, right? And we have some guys that aren't typically this high. Derrick Henry's now kind of entered the picture as this running back we're spending on. Like if this was October and he was 8-2, everyone would be like, no, I don't want Derrick Henry. But against the Raiders, they might be thinking differently, because if you look at his game logs, I mean, last 4 weeks, the lowest outing he has is 24.9 on DK. So, definitely someone that is in play. I don't know, though. I think I'd rather go to Nick Chubb, right, at 8K. I do worry about Kareem Hunt eating into a little bit, but he's going up against the Bengals. So Nick Chubb is probably the guy that I would prefer there instead. It's worth noting Kareem Hunt's at 6.6K, so it's not like you're getting a discount on him there over at running back. Leonard Fournette at 7.8 is fine, but again, I think I prefer Chubb. I know I don't get the PPR upside, but I think that's where I would rather go. It's weird to see Alvin Kamara at 7K, guys, right? I think he's a guy that we're going to definitely consider too. So I guess from 7K and above, my three favorite running backs are probably McCaffrey 1. I'll go Kamara 2 at 7K because of the point per dollar, and then I'll go Chubb 3 at 8K. Well, it's not a great matchup for Kamara. He is well rested for what it's worth, and I think I was going through the snap stuff, 85%. He had a ton of snaps last week for what it's worth. Saw a nice little spike for him as well. Fournette, by the way, he is Alvin Kamara. Dude's getting 9 catches a game, because they're also down by 20. I like Fournette once again. Sure, why not? He's matchup proof. He's game trip proof. Yada yada yada. Thoughts here, Grant, as far as the running backs at the top?
Yeah, CMC's great. Don't really need to dissect that at all. I don't mind Henry at 8-2. He's probably not my favorite option. Chubb, I'm not really looking at too much. It is a great spot here, but still don't care. A little bit of a split backfield there. Kareem Hunt can steal a whole bunch. I don't really want to go with Chubb. I don't hate the play, but the guys I'm looking at are actually very different than Mangone. Obviously CMC, but Fournette and Bell. Bell going up against this Dolphins defense. I get that he hasn't really paid off a whole lot this year. In fact, he's destroyed me many times. I get that Powell and Tymont are getting a little bit of a workload here. He didn't do too much last week because game script just really didn't favor him. They weren't running the ball later on in the game because they were down by so much. Their offense couldn't do anything, but they were putting up 34 points a week the prior 3 weeks. And so Bell going up against this Miami defense, even though Miami somehow seems to crush people occasionally, still doesn't matter to me. Bell at 7,200, and then Fournette going up against the Chargers. Not a great run defense. They've never really been that great of a run defense. They still give up a decent amount of targets to opposing running backs. He's getting the full brunt of the workload here. He's heavily involved in the receiving game. I think that he should smash here. He's probably my favorite back at the 7K and above range.
So Bell got a spike as far as his usage last week, or as far as snaps at least. 85% he was on. Previous weeks he was 56%, 57%. Powell fell back at 15%. Montgomery barely on the field at 5%. You guys are talking about Chubb and Hunt, and they do play him sometimes together. Hunt out as a split out as a receiver. Chubb at 59%. Hunt at 65% as far as the snaps. Of course, again, that totals over 100% because they do cross over and play on the field together sometimes. Working our way down here, Mangone, who do you have in the mid-tier?
Yeah, the mid-tier is a little tougher, right? Because there's risk with these guys. That's kind of one of the issues. I don't know if you guys saw the video of Josh Jacobs, if you caught that, but
yes.
That was incredible. If you haven't seen it, just type in Josh Jacobs and just on Twitter and then go to videos, and I'm sure you'll easily find it. Derek Carr was dropped back, and Josh Jacobs is wide open on the left. I mean, wide open. He's jumping up and down trying to get a pass. And nope, Derek Carr doesn't look for him at all. He throws the other way. But there's risk with him, right? The PPR upside. And then Kareem Hunt, sure, PPR is great for DraftKings, but does he get enough work? That's a problem. Aaron Jones, 6.67K or 6.7K is a great price tag, but he splits the work with Jamal Williams. And then we keep going down. Melvin Gordon, Eckler, they split the work up. Am I paying 6.1K for Benny Snell? No thanks. This range is just ugly. I'm not paying for Joe Mixon. That's a terrible idea. Devin Singletary, I'll pass. Not a lot to like here. James White kind of exploded because they had the game script worked out perfectly for them. I could see the game script going his way again here, so I think he makes a really good GPP play at 5.5K. This is kind of the time of year they start unleashing him, right? So I think he could be intriguing, but this mid-tier right here is really nasty. I don't really want to play many of these guys from the 7K to 5K range. There's not a lot to like.
Yeah, but there was coach speak in favor of Jones, and it just didn't happen as far as him getting an elevated snap count. I jumped up to 58%, but that's not what you wanted at what you're paying for Jones. Jamal Williams had the other 42%. Other guys, the KC one, I was kind of curious what their backfield was going to be, and it was a bit of a mess, as you'd expect. McCoy at 36%, Darrell Williams at 27%, Darwin Thompson at 36%. That's – what are you going to do with that, Grant? I have no idea. And as far as the Pittsburgh, they have a nice matchup, but I think those two guys flip-flopped the last 2 weeks, and I don't know if that's going to be sustainable going forward. It's just going to be hot hand, yada, yada, yada. There was a lot of trolling stuff going on. The Tampa Bay running back situation as far as Jones and Barber this week. Yeah, any of these guys, man, going throughout there, it's kind of interesting. They're all sort of holes you can poke on every single one of them. Of course, they're not fully priced up, or feel free to go off the board, Grant. What do you have for me as far as some running backs?
I love the mid 6K range. So we mentioned Kareem Hunt. Dude will probably get a decently heavy volume of targets. He'll still get a lot of carries. He's 6.6K going up against one of the worst run defenses in the league, involved in the passing game, going up against a team that gives up a high volume of targets to opposing running backs. Kareem Hunt at 6.6. I really like Josh Jacobs. I like him going up against a team where they still funnel targets to opposing running backs. They may have a good run defense, but 6.5K for a guy like Josh Jacobs is still a little bit too cheap. The guy I love, probably my favorite play on the slate as of right now, is Melvin Gordon, 6,400. He's been getting a high volume of touches recently. He just got 20 this last game. We keep talking about how it's Melvin and it's Eckler, the two guys in the backfield. They don't really have much of an incentive to work Eckler that much. They're keeping him next year. Melvin's probably gone. But Melvin, 20 touches, or 20 runs rather, 14 runs, 22 runs, 20 runs. That's the last 4 weeks. The touchdown equity hasn't been there for the last 2 games, but he's averaging close to 5 yards a carry those games. He's getting the volume. He's still involved in the receiving game. He'll be involved in the receiving game again this week. It's not a horrible spot for him going up against Jacksonville, considering that they are giving up more yards per carry than any other team in the league. Melvin Gordon is just a beast here. His touchdown equity should go up. This is a guy that we were paying in the same almost split backfield last year. We were paying $8K for him. He's looking good recently. They have no reason to rest him at all. Well, they have some reason to rest Eckler because they're pretty much out of the playoff race, or they're close to out of it. Melvin could absolutely crush here, 6,400, and people aren't going to look his way.
So Eckler's been on the field too. It's basically like a Cleveland situation, right? The same deal where Gordon 65% of the snaps last week and Eckler 53% of the snaps, and he's kind of getting split out. And he's playing, he's playing the what's the guy, the Hunt role that they do over there in Cleveland. And yeah, you're right. Gordon's getting a ton of touches for sure. I think he's kind of interesting there too. And we saw Laird get all the way up to 60% as far as his snap count last week as kind of a last man standing, assuming Balaj is not available for Miami. I think it might actually be possible. Like, Mangone, you talked about, well, you just lock in CMC and you lock in L-Jax, and then, you talk about the worlds we live in. We live in the world of a salary cap, Mangone. I mean, is Laird one of those guys that helps you get there? Again, it's Monday night. Who knows how this, will shake out on Sunday morning. But full disclosure, by the way, I'm on vacation. This is my last piece of content until next Tuesday. I don't know how much I'm playing. Should I play? I feel like I should play some, right?
Yeah, you absolutely should play.
Dean, what are you doing, man? Just find a way into that secret chat, dude. You got a week to figure that out if you're not.
I know a guy. I mean, maybe could somebody put a good word in for me that's on this podcast potentially?
I'm not in the secret chat, so I don't know.
You guys can't vouch for me?
I got to get myself in, man. So, but yeah.
I'm in the secret chat to get him on the bad chalk, and that goes something different.
I was in a secret chat today where we played the game. We talked about this pre-show. We played the game, What Does Mangone Know? For an hour.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, you guys, I mean, listen, I was, trying to, research the NBA slate, and you guys were just, bombarding me. I was like, man, I'm so behind on research. Geez.
Mangone's thinking NBA, and I'm like, Mangone, do you know who Gizmo is? Who's Alf? These are important things.
By the way, Alf looks like an anteater, man. If you had to pick the animal that Alf looks like, it's a freaking anteater.
The name is literally, it's an acronym. It's alien life form. He's not in anything. He's an alien.
Okay, but if we're playing this person looks like this animal, Alf looks like an anteater.
Maybe he's modeled after that. I suppose that's we had 20 minutes of actual straight content, straight man, no nonsense, and then somebody just derailed the show. I'm not really sure who it was, but Laird, you guys have comments on Laird, or it's just wait till they determine?
I'm Laird's a guy that's involved in the passing game. He's 4,100. Slate doesn't have a whole lot of value here. He's a guy that can absolutely do work in the receiving game, and this is not a terrible spot. Yes, New York is a very good run defense, but they also give up a high volume of targets to opposing running backs. Not many running backs can do a whole lot on this Dolphins team, so it's more about the rushing or the receiving upside, which he did just have 4 receptions and 43 yards and on 5 targets, and we could potentially see something like that or more again at 4,100. It's not a terrible play, although interesting. Laird averaged 0.5 yards per carry in this last game, and he still did better than Balaj. Better than Balaj, who averaged 0.0 yards per carry.
Well, he didn't play. You have to be on the field.
He rushed 3 times and he got 0 yards.
Okay, yeah. I mean, okay, fair enough. Mangone, is there anything else to say here as far as running backs, or it's just holding pattern, and we'll see if anything the slate gives us anything. But as of right now, unless I'm missing something, it doesn't seem like there's anything that
Lindsey's not a terrible play at 5,300 if you're looking for a little the cheap guys aren't great, but Lindsey at 5,300 and then Freeman at 5,400. This is a guy getting the full brunt of the workload in this offense here. Everyone's going to point towards how he's done this season, but he's been better recently, and then he got suspended, and then he got injured. He had 17 carries this last game. He's involved in the receiving game. This guy could crush his price tag here going up against one of the worst run defenses in the entire league here. So I really like Freeman there at 5,400 too. And then Madison, if Cook is out, I know he said he's likely to play, but
yeah,
if he doesn't play, then all you're going to hear is Madison, so I don't really need to mention it.
I mean, I'm imagining his price is ridiculous because the Monday night bump, if you get hurt on Monday night, the salaries are already set, so I'd assume he's pretty much cheap everywhere. And that's I hate the term free square, but Mangone, that's what it would be, right?
Yeah, I didn't know. My voice changed there for a second. You asked me, and then it was Grant's voice out of nowhere. So,
I wanted to mention stuff, and I don't care about what you had to say.
It's fair.
He's got to get his usage in, man.
Yeah, listen. All right, so Grant's off the court. It's my turn. We got one guy I think is actually sort of kind of interesting, and friend of the podcast, Bobby Fye had him on his team that crushed. Darius Geis baby, man. I talked about him, possibly breaking out here at some point soon, and he broke out last week. Wasn't the matchup that I expected, but Green Bay is a spot that I could definitely see him break out a little bit here. So, or not break out, but have another good game. 4.9K. He's one of the cheap guys I would look at. Don't mind Jamal Williams here against the Redskins. I think he'd be an interesting turn permanent option. Grant said it right. Madison, if Cook is out, you just plug him in. He is instant value. But let's talk about the man's Pete, his boy, our Laird and savior, Patrick Laird. He's going to be the guy that helps team jam him in, right? We're going to need him if you're jamming guys in. So I think he's definitely in play and probably the lowest I'd go at running back.
But it's confirmed. Mangone knows who Vanilla Ice is, by the way. That we can confirm that.
Yes, listen, I'm just gonna keep dropping it every single week, Dean. Every single week, I'll drop the Geist baby. So if you're doing the drinking game of this podcast, take a drink now.
And shout out to Bobby. I know he's been crushing. At least I saw he's been he's not good at the screenshot life though. He actually takes like a picture.
Yeah, that's the ridiculous part.
What are you doing, Bobby?
I mean, he can get away with it because he's winning 20 to 120 grand.
It doesn't matter. He's still doing well, but it's the principle though, Grant. Oh.
Yeah, no, it's very, very easy to take a screenshot on your phone. Although he's on Team Droid, so I'm not sure he knows how to do it.
Oh, well, there you go. Bobby just got an extra point in my book there. I'm on Team Droid as well.
Yeah, that's a downgrade, man.
It's weird that he's a Droid user. Like, why do you know that?
Because I used to text him on my Droid, and we had the same Droid.
Used to? You guys? Oh, I'm sorry. And I don't
have a Droid anymore.
Oh. Let's talk about receivers. Grant, do you want to just, if I pitch it to Mangone, are you just going to steal it anyway? Do you just want to start it up?
Yeah, Michael Thomas up there at the top, cheapest we've seen in a long time. Yes, it's a tough matchup. I really don't care. Michael Thomas is 8,300. This is a silly price tag for a guy getting a 30% target share. And guess what? In that 30%, he has one drop in like the last 450 days. Guy is just a beast, crushes every single week. It's a tough matchup, which might steer ownership away, but this is the best price tag we've seen in a very long time. He is going to crush here. Hill is Tyreek Hill. Adams getting a massive target share. Don't mind him going up against Washington. Hopkins, tough matchup, but he's 7,400. Seems like a silly price tag. Mike Evans, Godwin, pick one of them, but this is not a good spot for either of them. Indy tends to funnel targets away from wide receivers. I think they currently have the wide receivers against Indy has like some of the worst numbers on the entire season in terms of volume. And so those are probably the main guys I'm looking at. I mean, I guess DJ Moore getting massive target share going up against Atlanta. And Devontae Parker, been one of the best wide receivers in the league going up against the funnel Jets defense. Parker, 6'9", no one's going to want to play him. Still has a shot at 30 points.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? You guys are taking victory laps. I had a good port. I ended up on a lot of Parker. So how about that? We won some. Well, I also moved off.
Yeah, because you were listening to me on the Sunday podcast.
Yeah, because I play Hump Dog every time you say Hump Dog.
Oh, the guy with a touchdown?
What? He scored a touchdown? Oh, my God.
He did get in the box. I saw. Whenever I see Humphrey scores, I think of Grant, or when I don't see him score.
So
right?
You think of him like once a year, basically.
Yeah, about that. Or when there's a game and I look at the box and I go, where was Adam Humphries? Oh, bad day for Grant.
Mike Thomas,
I didn't play him this week. I think this is the first week I had 0 shares of him. So, guys, I'm not going to play him this next week, so he's guaranteed a touchdown.
Good matchup. So Thomas is $35 on Yahoo, so you got a bit of a discount as well, too, over his previous asking price. Mangone, like, what? Is there anything to add on here as far as these top receivers? Do you have a hot take amongst them, or they're all just sort of, like, correctly priced?
I mean, Michael Thomas ain't correctly priced, that's for sure. I'm definitely playing him.
Okay, you're definitely playing Michael Thomas. You're definitely playing Lamar Jackson. You're definitely playing CMC. You definitely have a cheat code.
Yeah, it's called Patrick Laird. My Laird and Satan.
He's not like negative dollars though. You still can't get there.
No, you can. I built it already, Dean.
What?
You can do it
in the chat, or you did this by yourself?
I am in a chat right now. I'm like talking to Slate with you guys and talking to Slate with another chat.
I feel like you're cheating on us. I mean, you've missed a couple things where this is why Grant's just like bouncing and taking your time because he's giving us his full attention, if nothing else.
Oh, listen. Well, we're getting some good nuggets here, man. There's some good combos going on.
Give me the nuggets.
Yeah. I mean, well, we were joking about Robbie Anderson because I met him once, but he was like, "Is this? Can you?" Yeah, I know. I met him once. They're like, "Can you put a call in to make Robbie, have a big week?" But listen, it's against the Jets. It's not against the Jets. It's against the Dolphins, right? Anyone against the Dolphins. So Robbie Anderson actually is a good GPP play. So is Jamison Crowder, right? That's one thing I haven't taken advantage of as much. Just like, like Alshon Jeffrey freaking got there. I was so tilted that he scored.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't play Alshon Jeffrey, but
No, that was a silly move.
Yeah, the Dolphin secondary. Yeah.
yeah, I get it. And again, this is a spot where like people might say that the price tags on some of these guys, like Robbie Anderson, that is kind of an uncomfortable price tag. But the guy like Jamison Crowder, 5'3". I know he hasn't had the best last couple weeks, but his targets have been incredible. And if you look, he's been like the wide receiver, top 10, like multiple times throughout the season. Crowder at 5'3" is a really, really nice price tag. So I think he's a guy that you can definitely consider. I just don't like paying up for a lot of these other guys you're talking about, right? You talk about the top end range, like Hopkins, Julio, Diggs, Evans, Godwin. I don't feel like guessing. I just don't see myself living in that range. I didn't play Devontae Parker last week, and I'm super sad about that. I'm probably not doing it this week. Maybe in a tournament, but price tag is just a little bit up. If it's cheap on FanDuel, I might go back there because, again, it's the Jets, right? Pass funnel defense, definitely have to consider that. Odell Beckham is cheap for tournaments, right? 6.3K. I worry against the Bengals, right? They're just going to get up and run the ball a ton, but that's a really nice price tag for tournaments. Have to consider that. Can't sleep on Tyler Boyd, back with Andy Dalton, got those 10 targets. He gets so many targets from him. It's definitely a decent spot for him, so wouldn't hate that. Why on earth is James Washington priced at 6K? I get it's Arizona, and I get he's going duck
season.
Yeah, I get it, but dude, 6K? Come on, man. I was hoping we maybe get a discount on him, but no discount there, so that's quite frustrating. But yeah, no, I think some of those cheap guys we talked about, like the Jets guys, I think are interesting. And I don't know, I just don't see myself spending on those other guys. Like I'm just going to probably jam Michael Thomas in even in tournaments and not care. And I don't know, I just don't love this 6K and 7K range for some.
I got a couple things for Yahoo. Washington is $15 over there, $5 above the floor, and Parker still doesn't feel correctly priced at $20. That feels pretty good to me on Yahoo specifically. And I'm curious, what's your anecdote as far as Anderson? Do you guys Eskimo brothers? Anything interesting?
No, I got invited, DraftKings invited me to the MetLife. So I took a picture with him and, caught some footballs from him. So yeah, we're best buds now.
Oh, so you have in your Rolodex, you got you and 50 Cent?
Yeah.
you and Robbie Anderson? Anybody else?
Yep, me, 50, and Robbie. Those are some of the celebs I've met over the past couple of years. And me and 50, we're tight, man. We roll deep, and don't hate on my boy 50.
And Grant, not to show up Mangone, but didn't DeAndre Jordan sign your forehead?
Yeah, him and Vinny Castilla. Colin Cowherd once signed my phone.
Vinny Castilla from the Colorado Rockies 15 years ago?
Yeah, he was at a FanDuel Live.
What did Cowherd say when you he must have been like, you're an idiot for me signing your phone? Did he say that to you?
No, he's like, yep. All right, I've never heard this one before. Yeah, he's definitely first. But looking at some wide receivers, OBJ, good matchup versus Cincy, 6,300. Baby Chark with Minshew back in there. I mean, Baby Chark was just putting up massive numbers with Minshew in there. Now he's back. Really like him, even though it's a tough matchup versus Hayward. Don't care. We just saw Sutton put up a big game versus these Chargers. So I like Baby Chark. Like the Colin Boyd. Zach Pascal, if Hilton is out, going up against the funnel Tampa Bay defense. I didn't mention Brissett too much over on quarterback. I guess I forgot to. But going up against the Tampa Bay defense, he is 6.1K. But Brissett should crush, and Pascal could crush.
By the way, I listened to the podcast. You've mentioned Brissett already, right, Dean? He mentioned him already?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, so all right. I am listening. Apparently, Grant's
that was a test, Mangone. You passed. But Pascal.
I just realized all the Toro running backs are in the same game, Indy versus Tampa, just kind of as far as last week. And I know some people played some Jonathan Williams, and of course some people played Ronald Jones. That didn't really work out for them. But you mentioned Pascal. That was one of the guys, a Yahoo special last week for $10. I think he's now 16, which is playable, but not as sexy. But of course, you got to factor in the matchup as well too. Grant, you got any cheapies?
Yeah, same game, same team. Marcus Johnson here. He is fairly cheap, I believe. I realized I actually still had last week brought it.
Somebody needs some emergency water.
I can take over if you need me to, Grant.
I don't know what just happened there. I think I was
dying. Get naked and go out in the hallway and get a beverage.
Yeah, listen, one thing I did want to mention that I haven't yet, and I'll give you a second to break, Grant, is 5.5K, Will Fuller. That's a really nice price tag for the upside that he has. So don't sleep on him in tournaments. I think he's a really interesting option. Grant, you alive and ready to go?
Too much usage for Grant.
I'm back. Marcus Johnson, 3,600. Got involved in the offense a bunch without Chester Rogers there. 64 of the 70 snaps last week. Caught 4 receptions. 6 targets up against the complete funnel Tampa Bay defense. I'm not going to be surprised if we see Marcus Johnson chalk this week.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
If
how much is he on DK? He's $10 on Yahoo.
3,600.
Okay.
And he got
I'm just
6
becoming
targets.
aware of this guy's existence. I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you off, but go ahead, continue.
Yeah. If Hilton doesn't play, then yeah, he's going to be heavily involved in this offense against a funnel pass defense. Like, this is Monday. It could be entirely off. I could see something different. But as of right now, Marcus Johnson is one of the best point per dollar plays on the slate.
Mangone, do you have any hot take? What is Mango? Just put it in your secret chat. Put in Marcus Johnson season and see what response you get.
I just did, actually. Literally. I just said, what about this guy?
What about this guy I've never heard of? I think Grant's drunk.
So, no, but I do want to mention, and there are actually, a conversations going on right now, and I was going to mention it before when you talked about Pascal. One reason Pascal was a really good play, and even Doyle, I think, got a really nice bump from this, is Paris Campbell was out. Last week, that he was inactive. And I think that was something that I didn't end up playing Doyle, and I was really thinking of leaning off of Kelsey on FanDuel to Doyle because of that. So I think Paris Campbell, we have to understand what's going on with them. I mean, it looks like they're pretty optimistic that he's going to play. It was a hand. So I don't know. I think that Johnson could be a little thin. I don't know. Does Paris Campbell have a nice price? He's 3.2.
So Paris Campbell has not played since week 9, right? Johnson didn't play when Paris Campbell played in week 9. He didn't. Well, at least he didn't get a snap or didn't get a. Yeah, I'm looking at the snap counts right now on the fly. And Johnson in week 10, 80%. Week 11, 92%. Week 12, 63%. Week 13, 93%. And all those without Campbell, without Deion Kane. Is Deion Kane out for the season? I feel like he's out for the season.
He's on the Steelers now, team.
He's a Steeler?
Yeah, he's a Steeler.
When did this happen?
He's 3K. He got last week. He got against the Browns. He had one target, 1 catch for 5 yards.
Is this better or worse than when you forgot Al Horford was like not was like yeah?
Yeah. Let's not bring that one.
I thought Kane was out for the year. I don't know why. I thought okay, well whatever, but good for him.
Yeah.
Rogers, Funchess is out for a year. That could be who you're thinking of.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you for like giving me another guy for bailing me out, but.
Well, they have 2 wide receivers on the IR.
But yeah. Campbell and Johnson's going to be like an interesting conversation. Like they're going to be in play. And again, because like we want to jam these guys in. Like I just think there's so many like cheap price tags on these like expensive guys. Like I'm definitely going to be on team jam them in this week. And that's definitely probably a way to make it work, I would say. I'm trying to think of another cheap guy. Like, listen, we love to target the Dolphins, right? This guy, I'm just going to read you the targets. He's 3.7K. Targets since week 6.
Alan Hearns.
No, it's not Alan Hearns. That's a 4.1K play. That's intriguing too. Grant got it. Demaryius Thomas. Here's his targets: 4, 9, 5, 3, 9, 5, 3, 5. I mean, listen, he's 3-7. Like, I'm interested. I don't think.
I hear you on. You said he's on the Dolphins. Just he's playing the Dolphins.
No, that's what I meant. I probably.
Okay, so that's why I started
he didn't say he was on the. He said the Dolphins is a great matchup. You missed.
I'm a schmuck then. Never mind. Put me in the corner,
guys. What about Perriman? 3.3K.
We are taking some nasty names.
UCF represent. There you go. We got to get the UCF quota in there. That's the best thing I can say about Perriman. And I'm digging in as far as the snap counts. There's a person named Ashton Doolin who got 57% of the snap count last week for Indianapolis, who plays wide receiver. Do you guys know Ashton? Could you pick him out of a lineup?
I'm currently looking at his pick.
Here's another 3.7K guy. This is a fun game we're playing right now. People are probably like, what is going on? So here's the last 3 weeks. 6 targets, 6 and 5, 10.3 fantasy points, 7.3, 8.1. Kelvin Harmon against the Packers. They'll be trailing all game long. He's been doing good with Haskins. And I don't know. The Packers, listen, their defense can be rough at times.
Is that the signal to talk about tight ends? I think that's the signal.
Yes.
I think that's like about 4 guys ago, I think was the signal, to be honest. But don't play Dean Cain. There you go. Wait, no, that's Dean Cain with Superman. That's a different guy. Deion Cain. He's a Pittsburgh Steeler now, allegedly. By the way, fun fact, or it's a fact, not fun. Dean Cain, he went to Harvard, and he played football, and he was Superman. Those are all true. Well, Superman fictitious, I suppose. He wasn't actually Superman, but yeah, I think he led the Ivy League in interceptions one year. I'm not making this up. Pretty sure that's true. Google that, Mangone.
I don't know. I think we're.
Oh, hold on. Do you know who Dean Cain is?
No.
I literally just told you he was Superman. You were not listening.
Well, I thought that's what you said, but I was like, I mean, like, listen,
just told you.
But I'm being honest, right? Like, that's my. Like, if you told me Dean Cain without saying that, Dean, like, I didn't know who he was. Like, I'm just giving my honest answer. Like, that's it. So
tight ends, Mangone.
Yeah, let's see. So the price tags are cheap on these guys this week, right? Like Kelsey is 6.2K. Again, it's because New England, right? The matchup's not the greatest. We got Kittle at 5.9. I don't know. I don't know if I want to go there with him. I think he's better like in a stack, right, with Michael Thomas. I think it's a good like tournament, play. If you're doing your groups there, that's something I would be interested in. Waller, he hasn't really been a baller that much lately. The last week, against KC, he had a really good spot.
He got paid.
Is that why you got paid and got fat and stopped trying? But he's 5'8", and Tennessee's a matchup that we can definitely target. So that's definitely in play. Mr. Jack Doyle got priced up to 4.6K. That's a price tag I don't know if I want to go to. Again, it is Tampa Bay though, so I'm going to look at the price tag and have the conversation, but I don't think I'll end up going there.
You think you're going to throw the ball to Marcus Johnson more?
Yeah, I don't know. The thing is, like, Doyle is the number one option, so like you do have to consider him. I'm going to give you a really nasty cheapie, right? This is not the prettiest option.
Is this flow chart?
No, it's not a flow chart.
He's not that cheap.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not on the flow chart. Vance McDonald, what is his price, Grant?
4,300.
Okay, he's 4,300. Yeah, so the DK's catching on to the flow chart. But if you want, because I think Greg Olsen could be out this week, we might have a 2.5K starting tight end. And it's against the Falcons. It's Mr. Ian Thomas, and he was a guy last year people touted and were all over, and he wasn't. I mean, he was okay. But listen, he's 2.5K, and if we're jamming in guys, Mr. Ian Thomas might be intriguing.
Yeah, I think Olsen got concussed or something, right? He got hit pretty hard last week, or maybe carted off the field. It was bad. I think it was a bad scene. And by $16 for Vance on Yahoo for what it's worth. And as Mangone was going there, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait, I couldn't tell if I was on or if I was off. I had the cough button. Oh, never mind. It was flashing as if, never mind. We'll move on. We'll power through. I Wikipedia'd Dean Cain. My apologies. He went to Princeton, not Harvard, but he did.
You idiot.
Well, it's the Ivy League. It's the same, whatever. It's all. I know that they're probably.
Tell that to someone. Tell that Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
He would be so insulted. Let's see. He had a season record of 12 interceptions. Apparently, he was a Bill for a cup of coffee until he had a knee injury. And he dated Brooke Shields. Who does Mangone know who Brooke Shields is?
The name sounds familiar. Why do I know that name? I definitely, when you say it, I'm going to know whatever she's from.
I doubt it.
There's a lot of things, but yeah.
What is it?
Well, Grant, Brooke Shields, you think of what?
Why am I blanking on this?
I know who she is. I know she's been in a lot of things.
Blue Lagoon, I think, is probably. It's been a while.
Blue Lagoon, Pretty Baby, Endless Love are the top three.
There you go.
Fair enough. By the way, speaking of cups of coffees, I had a cup of coffee with Jesper last week on the Showdown slate. Since we're on tight ends, he's 2K. I don't know if that's worth going to, but I want to give my boy another shout out.
Yeah. Oh, I'm still reeling from it. I rarely partake in the Showdown season, and I off air I was tilting to Mangone about this, but I guess that's what it is. That's what you're signing up for. And I had $39K in the bank. I was just just screwing around with $200. Just kind of made some lineups for funsies, and I'm like, I'm gonna bank Showdown season, and it's 5 minutes left, which I guess that's an eternity in Showdown season. And I'm like, well, okay, worst case scenario, I might get 3, 4, 5K, whatever. Whatever, great, that's awesome. Good night,
guys. It's O.J. Howard season.
What?
Why? Can we trust Bruce Arians?
I like how my story was so bad. Grant's just
it wasn't good, Dean. I had to get you off.
What if I won the thing? You don't care if I won?
No, because I know you didn't.
I did, guys, and I screenshot it really poorly. I didn't.
It's O.J. Howard season. Going up against Indy, great matchup for opposing tight ends. One of the highest volume of targets opposing tight ends. O.J. Howard or Brait, one of them is going to crush here. Hawkinson going up against Minnesota, another funnel team to tight ends. Hawkinson had 11 targets last week. Probably playing with, what's his name again, going to rely heavily on his tight end. Hawkinson, going to crush here, where I mentioned the flow chart with McDonald. We already mentioned Jack Doyle in a great spot, and I absolutely do want to play him. Tampa Bay is a great matchup for opposing tight ends. I think Jack Doyle crushes here, and he's similarly priced to Vance McDonald. I think he might be a better play than Vance McDonald.
So Grant, are we done doing Evans on 50% of teams and Godwin on 50%? Instead, this week we're doing Howard on 50% and Bray on 50%, and then one will win.
Yeah. Well, no, yeah, it's a tight end throwing to team, tight end target team.
All right. The one guy we haven't mentioned, and again, like tight end's not fun this week. I don't think it's the greatest spot for tight end.
Week ending and why?
I think it's a great week.
Well, I think there's good guys, but a lot of them are like kind of appropriately priced. I think that's part of one of the problems. Like the good guys are not in the best matchups at the top. They might be priced down, and like the guys that are in good matchups that are normally cheap are priced up. I think that's kind of how it's shaping up to be. Noah Fant, I know he kind of died last week and didn't do much, but he's 3.4K against Houston.
I think he had a few targets that I think had penalties, and he had some decent targets. I'm right there with you, although it looked like I watched that game. It looked like he was throwing to Hireman a bit. Yeah, Hireman had 5 targets compared to Fant's 3. So, I mean, what about Hireman?
I don't know. To be honest, like I don't know where I'm going to go at tight end. Like we keep talking about it, and I don't even know. Like
Howard, Hawkinson, McDonald, and Doyle. Those are your tight ends.
Just by the way, speaking of players that died, David Johnson is the floor. He's $10 on Yahoo. Good
what is he
Lord.
on DK? He's 4.2. Oh man.
He got some touches last week.
Let's pour one out for him.
Oh man, it's so yeah.
These are guys that are priced at this. Okay, so Patrick Laird is 4.1. Man, this is a rough scene. Patrick Laird is 4.1. Peyton Barber's 4.2. The backup running back Raquel Armstead for the Jaguars is 4.3. Hines is 4. This is a rough scene.
Do we have a read on that Tampa Bay situation or in Indianapolis, or it's just like a hot hand, or just is it worth messing with? I mean, tournaments, I suppose, maybe sprinkles, but
so
I told you tight ends.
Well, I have a quick quote on that I should mention. If you were like a Ronald Jones person last week and got bit from Peyton Barber having a big week,
I wasn't, thankfully.
So the reason why Bruce Arians took him out is Ronald Jones missed the blitz pickup, and he said like that doesn't fly with me. So like listen, like Arians has a hook. If you miss the blitz pickup, you're off the field. So that's kind of the story.
Every man's got his breaking point. I guess missing the blitz pickup is Arian's breaking point. That's interesting. What else are we doing, boys? Is that it? I feel like we did a good job in between all the nonsense. We might have talked too many guys, to be honest. There's a lot of names. I'm still not quite sure if they're actual people that were thrown out there. Grant, a summary, maybe a correlation play that's jumping out to you here on Monday night?
Doyle and Brissett, probably a decent correlation play. There's no great spots this week, so ownership, if it's concentrating on people, you probably don't want to play them, but play some Chark with Minshew. That's a great correlation. And then you can throw Brissett, Pascal, and Marcus Johnson into a lineup together, or Doyle. You can throw all of them in there. They're not too expensive, and they
Colts Onslaught.
Colts Onslaught's going to win the Million Maker.
No, it's not. Mangone?
My correlation, I kind of mentioned it earlier. It's kind of expensive, but I think it's a really, really strong one. Again, it's December, a lot of terrible weather spots normally this time of year. Michael Thomas with the Kittle combo. I think that combo is a really, really nice one that I do a lot more. I do like a main GBP team on each site, and that's something I'll definitely be looking at in some more mid stakes and higher stakes kind of things.
That's the show, right? There's nothing else to do, as far as I know.
Yeah, we're into the nonsense portion after our draft.
I meant like the show. We're still doing stuff. Okay.
No, we got to do a draft and talk about it.
I see what you did there, Dean, trying to get out.
Luckily, I run the recording this week, so
I don't tweet on vacation, just for the record, just so you know. When I'm on vacation, I go Twitter dark. That's it.
Sounds good. Your vacation doesn't start till tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, and it sounds like that tweet will be up there as your only tweet for a while, so we might have to mix in some retweets after.
All right, I'm going to have to start tweeting, I suppose. Oh, man.
So, Dave, you're kicking off our game. I guess I'm second in the game, so that's how it's going.
Oh,
yeah, Dean, you get your first choice.
Oh, who's the best play on the board? I don't know who it is.
I'm pretty happy. I know I already know, like, whatever you pick, I already know my next pick, so I'm pretty good with this.
What position are you eyeing?
I'm not telling you. You go first, Dean.
No, you said you're locked in. It doesn't even matter what I'm doing, so you can tell me your strategy.
No. Just because I can.
Dean, just go. Dean, don't take a whole bunch of time. You're going first.
I think I'm gonna go back. Yeah, I think I should just play Michael Thomas. I'm going to play Michael Thomas.
I like that pick a lot. That was a strong pick.
Yeah,
Give me the floor. Give me the floor.
That was my pick. That was my number one.
You said no matter what I do, you're ready.
Well, that was my one. I got my 2 pick. My 2 pick is I'm going to go back to the well of just free raw points. Give me Christian McCaffrey.
That's who I was debating. I was debating between those 2 people, obviously.
Yeah, and we got Grant boxed out pretty decent. I mean,
Grant, you're in some serious trouble.
No, he's not.
Oh my gosh!
Grant's gonna stack the Colts. Come on, Grant. Put something behind your work.
I would if you want to. Honestly, if you guys want to give it to me, no, I won't.
No, you can have it. You get the next 2 picks. Just stack them up. Take all the Colts.
Well, I don't want to stack guys up. I'm obviously not taking a Colts running back. I was thinking, but it's under the premise that Hilton doesn't play, and we don't know that ahead of time, so I can't really do that. So that's kind of out of there. I'm going to go with at wide receiver. I'm going to go with Devontae Parker. I think that he crushes here. Looking at running back, I'm going Melvin Gordon.
Okay, that's somebody you touted earlier. That's acceptable. All right, fair enough. Mangone, you spent a lot of salary.
I can pick whoever I want, Dean. Don't have to.
You are an adult, yeah, sure. But I'm just here to give my commentary. I'm sure that's what people want. Mangone, you've already spent a lot of money. We don't know a salary cap. Actually, we don't. There's no salary cap in this game. It's just dollar for dollar.
Yeah, I don't live in a world of a salary cap, Dean. I can do what I want. If I want to go Tyreek Hill, I will go him. But I got
this game locked, by the way. I'm guaranteed first in the podium because you left the running back is the nuts. Go ahead. I'm just excited.
I know. Yeah, I know. I know exactly what you're going to do. You're going to take Kamara, probably.
No, he's going to take Laird.
Oh, Laird. That's who you're going to take.
Is it Laird season? I totally forgot about that.
Yeah,
are we being disingenuous or are we being for real about that? I got to know.
No, we
don't. For real. We don't know how serious Elijah's injury is, but
yeah, I know.
Probably pretty serious.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out which. I mean, do I go super, super cheap? I mean, we talked about some really nasty guys. I don't think.
Trev, are you being a Dean this week?
Oh, dude, I'm going to call clocking on you in a second.
You can clock me if you want. Take your guy. I'm a receiver.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm not ready. I'm not going to clock you.
You can pick if you're ready.
I'm a gentleman. You go first.
I'm just.
Well, yours has no effect on him, Dean.
Yeah, that's the point. All right.
I'm perfectly fine waiting.
All right, I feel really good about this play. I know he hasn't had the greatest weeks, but past couple weeks, but I think this is an amazing bounce back spot. I'm going to go with Jamison Crowder at 5.3K.
Ooh, really? The rousing endorsement for Jamison Crowder. Yeah, so my running backs, I'll throw it out there because it doesn't matter at this point, but I can lock up that Narland side. Of course, Murray, or who's the dude that, what's the guy's name? The guy that has pictures on Sean Payton with the Taysom Hill, he might siphon some touchdowns for New Orleans.
Yeah, Taysom Hill has 4 touchdowns this year. That's more than Odell Beckham Jr.
I think it's more than Kamara.
He's got 4 touchdowns in 9 snaps.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's ridiculous.
Hey, Dean, here's your pick.
Yeah, all right. I'm just taking to the thought. You don't want to hear the thought process? I was thinking of Fournette, Uncle Lenny. Hey. He's a lock. He's
the guy that I was going to suggest to you.
Well, I don't need suggestions, but I appreciate, is this because you want Mangone to lose? Is that what's going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Mangone's now going to say, well, look, Grant's making suggestions and helping you out.
I didn't make a suggestion.
You luckily said it first.
But I luckily said it first. I can lock up New Orleans, obviously. This Jacksonville looked so putrid last week, but yeah, Fournette hit the touches he's getting and the volume he's getting in the pass game. He's essentially Kamara. The weird thing is he's more expensive than Kamara, though, which I don't like. But his matchup is better than Kamara's, obviously. I am stalling, but I'm going to go with it didn't work last week, so let's go back to last week. I stacked Jacksonville, but I'm not going to stack. I'm going to take Uncle Lenny once again.
Yeah, he's a good play. He's probably a better player than I was leading on earlier, so I should probably realize that and want him more.
That's the show. Now we can leave.
No, we can't leave, Dean. There's still more.
Everybody else has left. All the listeners are gone.
No one has left. Oh, gosh. I just reread the tweet. It's so bad.
All right, well, if the world, let's pretend we're in an alternate universe, Grant, and people don't know what we're doing now. What are we doing now?
So the competition we just did, the snake draft format, it's tweets or consequences. Loser has to tweet out something that we decide, and he can't comment on it or anything. He has to just leave it out, and he can't delete it. Dean happened to have lost last week, and I just reread the tweet, or 2 tweet options he has, both along the same lines, both pure poetry. But he will have to tweet this out tomorrow, and he cannot respond to people.
Can I do it like at 2:00 in the morning, or does it matter what time I do it, or
it's prime tweeting time, or around prime tweeting time?
More like
all
2
right.
p.m.
I haven't heard this yet, so I want to say be gentle, but it sounds like you have not been gentle.
If you have kids in the room, I'd put in your headphones.
Dude.
I mean, this is not terribly suitable for work, but you ready for it, Dean?
Well, I mean, why do you have to give that kind of build up? I have to live. I live in a society. I have to move on from this, and go ahead.
First one is hands callous, dehydration, stains around my jerking station, incognito mode on cue. Close the tab when I am through. I feel the shame but go for glory. Though my hand right now is kind of hoary. Hashtag destroy December, which is actually a thing that's trending on Twitter. Hashtag Pornhub poetry.
What is this? Destroy December?
Destroy Dick December.
You want me to hashtag destroy Dick December?
Dean, it's an actual trending hashtag.
Yeah.
There's a lot of terrible trending. That doesn't mean it's legitimate.
No, but it's it was trending hard.
Oh, is that because it's the rebut to the No Doubt November? Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're supposed to have fun as many times as days it is in the month, starting at 1, ending in 31.
Was that a play on Eminem, by the way? Is that what that was? The palm sweaty? Is that what I was hearing? Or
is that where I got the?
Is that what that was
from?
That's what it sounds like. Or no?
It's good, but that's good poetry, right, Dean?
It's not good poetry. It's not poetry. It's not good.
Well, you ready for the second one?
Wait, is that the better one or the worst one, depending on your perspective?
I don't know. It's good poetry too.
Oh man.
All right, so the second one is lube is set, laptop open. Time for me to just start stroking. Feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme. I'm coming now. It's bobsled time. Exit velocity about 104 mph. Landed on my desktop face. Now it's time to feel the shame. At least I have no blue ball pain. Hashtag Pornhub poetry. Hashtag destroy Dick December.
That one is not going out there.
Why not?
That is not happening.
That's the best one.
You can have it, Mangone. It's all yours.
No. Dean, that one's too good. You got to tweet that one.
Honestly, I might quote tweet yours and tweet that out just because I'm so proud of it.
read that one more time if you don't mind, just for the people in the back.
Lube is set, laptop open. Time for me to just start stroking. Feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme. I'm coming now. It's bobsled time. Exit velocity about 104 mph. Landed on the desktop face. Now it's time to feel the shame. At least I have no blue balls pain.
What's the spelling on it? It's I'm coming now.
The correct spelling, which is CUMM.
The correct spelling. Oh my god! Yeah, I don't. I think I appreciate you giving me the lesser of two. I can two options, but right now I'm very angry at the Jaguars. I'm very mad at Nick Foles.
It's not BDN season, or maybe it is.
Maybe on the interwebs it is. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I think it's BDD season.
Yeah, I'm not excited. I'm not happy about this. But
was it at least well written? That's all. You're a stickler for.
I am
well-written tweets. I thought they were well written.
Well, yeah, sometimes when we do actually when Mangone loses, we will try to team up and you'll write something and I'll just bust out my red pen and just say use this word instead of that word or put and it's you probably think it's annoying, but it might be.
Dean, I found this hashtag, by the way, on Sunday. It was trending. I saw.
And how did you find it?
It was just trending. It was one of those things in the right-hand corner. It said it's trending. And I saw it, and I just copied it, and I sent it to Grant, and I said, this is going to Dean. We'll find a way to use this hashtag. Yeah,
it's a play off of the No Nut November, so you can play Trap for a little bit of it.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. What am I supposed to say to this? What am I supposed to do? It's just
honestly, they might think that you're I want to get the hashtag Pornhub poetry.
Is there awards for this? Is it are they giving out are they acknowledging people that put some nice poetry out there? I don't know.
I mean, Dean, you're part of a really popular hashtag. You might pick up some followers here.
Not all followers are created equal. But yeah. I mean, it is always amazing when you put out one of these tweets. I'm sure you've noticed it, Mangone and Grant as well. Like, and then all of a sudden you get like 3 new followers, and it's like, what is it that made them follow? Did they just see this and say, yeah, I got to follow this guy? It's just, no, not November. I'm in. I got to see what this guy has to say going forward.
It could be those new podcast listeners we have.
Yeah, that are gone now. That they're out. This is not for me. So thank you, Yahoo, for sponsoring the podcast. We do appreciate it. Grant, one more time for the people, let them know what's going down as far as the comment section. We want to have it as popping like last week. We're giving out multiple prizes, and we're doing that without authority. So hopefully that doesn't
fight
backfire.
The machine.
Yeah, stick it to the man. So, Grant, what are we doing here as far as the comment section? How do you get yourself a T-shirt or RG Premium, depending on if you're premium or not?
You leave in the comment section on the RG podcast page, where this podcast link will probably be tweeted out. And, it's just leave a good binge-worthy show on Netflix, on Amazon Prime, on HBO Go, on Hulu, on Disney Plus.
Sell us on it. You got to sell us on it.
Well, we want, like, I need new stuff to listen to. Like, leave it in there. You win. You either get week of not Pornhub Premium, but RG Premium, or you get a T-shirt if you already got it.
Anything you're binge watching these days, Mangone?
No, I got nothing. The last one I did was Righteous Gemstones, and that was amazing. That was,
that was good.
Oh, yeah.
I know. I might rewatch it. That's how good it was.
Did you watch Barry on HBO?
No, you recommended that one to me, and I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's in my wheelhouse, but I might try it at some point.
I recommended this one to Cheese, and he loved it so much he watched it twice. And I thought he was in hibernation. Actually, that's not true. Cheese he's grinding like hockey and basketball. Yeah. He's just using, I don't know. I don't want to speak for him, but I suspect he's just using like the lineup HQ for things like that. But Grant, is there anything you're I don't know why we're going long and I'm still asking questions. I don't really know why, but is there anything you're binge watching these days?
Not right now. I don't think so. I've got nothing.
Yeah, so we need some answers. Grant will watch.
That's why I said it, because I need something to watch.
Yeah, I have a lot of shows for you, Grant. We can talk off air if you want, but
I trust you more than Mangone.
Well, on this particular instance, Mangone, you'll yield, right? I think you'll yield. So I don't want to speak for you. Maybe you won't.
What am I yielding on?
Are you in the secret chat right now?
Yeah, I was looking at a lineup.
Maybe 2 players that are in it.
And 2, the Washington defense. I'm team punt.
That's
defense.
like 11 players.
Yeah,
what?
No, that and my boy Robbie Anderson's there.
There you go. I'm on vacation, boys. I don't know who's going to be hosting the show next week. You guys have not revealed that, or maybe you don't know just yet. But
Grant and I we'll figure it out. Hopefully before Monday. That would probably be a good idea, right, Grant?
I'm thinking we ask Chris Hansen.
Is he available, you think?
I mean, I'll send him a DM. I'll drop into his DM, see if he wants to.
That would be amazing.
Dean knows who I would drop in DMs to get on, the Juice Man, but
Oh yeah.
Don't even no, stop it. I'm getting angry. We went over time. So if for anybody that listened this long, thanks. We appreciate it. Mangone, any closing thoughts?
No, man. Should be a fun one. Football's gonna be over soon, right? So enjoy it while we have it, right? Soak it all in. Enjoy the Sundays. Tell the wife, listen, I only got 3 more, 4 more of these, so we can do some stupid stuff on Sunday another day.
Grant,
guys, I'm starting a new website. It's devoted to my poetry. You got a little sample of what more to come, pun intended. So, check out the website.
B-Rabbit over here. That's it. I'm on vacation, boys. Next time I'm back here, I'll probably have an anecdote from Britt Devine's wedding, so stay tuned for that. That'll be good times for sure. He's Mangone. He's Grant. Good luck in football this week. Unfollow me on Twitter. We're out of here. Holler.
See you, kids.
Holler.